Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair once wrote that for political leaders, the first 100 days in office represent a critical window to set the tone, establish priorities, and build momentum. This is Ignite News' Journey to 100 Days, where together we'll track the achievements of the newly Irfaan Ali government from inauguration day to 100 days. Here are the first milestones. Mohammed Irfaan Ali is sworn in for a second term as President of Guyana. President Irfaan Ali meets with the President of Suriname. A new cabinet of ministers is appointed. The new president meets the press and promises to revive the Garden City. And rice farmers receive support amidst falling prices. On September 7, thousands gathered at State House to witness President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali take the oath of office for a second term. The ceremony, administered by Acting Chancellor Roxanne George, drew senior government officials, diplomats, and international representatives, among others. The day's proceedings later shifted to the Kingston Esplanade, where cultural performances highlighted Guyana's diversity, featuring Chinese lion dancers, African drumming, indigenous presentations, poetry, and a military flyover by U.S. forces. In his remarks, President Ali underscored his One Guyana vision, pledging to establish a commission to encourage public participation, advance cultural development, and ensure greater accountability in governance. The following day, Vice President Dr. Barra Jagdeo and Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips were reappointed, ensuring continuity and experience in the government's leadership. President Ali praised their service, describing Jagdeo as a trusted advisor and Phillips as a steadying force for the administration. That same day, the foundation was poured for the first gas turbine at Guyana's gas-to-entry project in Wales, West Bank, Demerara. The project is part of broader plans for the Wales Industrial Zone, which will include a data center, an ammonia and urea plant, and a glass factory. Phase 1, led by Linsika Guyana Inc., covers a 300-megawatt power plant and natural gas liquids facility. Over 300 people are currently employed, with another 100 expected to join as additional turbine foundations are completed. Phase 2 will add a second 300-megawatt plant, with proposals already submitted by 7 firms. 20 million cubic feet of gas has been allocated for a fertilizer plant capable of producing 300 tons of urea annually. The initiative is expected to cut electricity costs by half, create more jobs, and strengthen Guyana's energy security and industrial growth. The government has completed major road projects aimed at improving traffic flow across the East Bank and East Coast of Demerara. The 4-lane R.B. Barker Road expansion connecting the Ogle Highway to South Brumvelt is now open. The $1.45 billion project features road markings, traffic signs, a center median, bicycle lanes, walkways, and 4 precast bridges. It provides improved access to the Commons Lodge housing scheme and reduces congestion across the corridor. On September 12th, President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali appointed 4 new permanent secretaries as part of efforts to modernize public service delivery. The new appointees are Sharon Rupchan Edwards, Ministry of Foreign Affairs; Roger Rogers, Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce; Duan Ellis, Ministry of Agriculture; and Dr. Erica Fort, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. The President met with the permanent secretaries and their deputies to outline his vision for a fully digitized, people-centered public service, focused on efficiency, transparency, and results-driven performance in the new term. On September 12th, President Dr. Irfaan Ali presented Joint Services medals to personnel who performed exceptionally during this year's elections, disaster relief, and humanitarian operations. The event was part of Operation Plexus After Action Review, a standard exercise conducted before, during, and after elections. Among those honored were 2nd Lieutenant Rolex Bob, Sergeant Rolex Bancroft, Corporal Rondell Hassana, and Assistant Superintendent of Prisons Patrick Crawford. In brief remarks, President Ali congratulated the joint services for safeguarding peace, order, and stability, describing the ceremony as a modest expression of appreciation.
When citizens can exercise their rights to vote freely without fear or intimidation, a nation demonstrates the depth of its democratic maturity. The peaceful and orderly conduct of our most recent elections was not an accident or circumstance. It was a direct result of planning, vigilance, discipline, and the efforts of the joint services, and we cannot forget the Guyana Elections Commission.
He emphasized that domestic peace is the foundation of national defense and highlighted the importance of Guyana being seen as united and capable on the global stage. Chief of Defense Staff Brigadier Omar Khan said the review strengthens tactics within the disciplined forces and identifies areas for improvement. He described this year's election as among the best he has witnessed in 33 years, praising the professionalism of ranks during a shooting incident on election day at the Peruni River border, where officers safely escorted Ghana Elections Commission officials.
In one particular instance, there was a shooting incident on our border on E-Day, on Elections Day. And while we would have discussed this, I want to point out that this particular attack cannot be measured in the previous attack as just a threat to our territorial integrity and our sovereignty. This was an attack to our democracy.
Khan also commended the vigilance of Coast Guards and other personnel, noting the effective execution of drills to prevent disruptions or injuries. He assured that future operations would continue to be handled with efficiency and dedication. Presidents of Guyana and Suriname met on September 13th in New Naikari to review bilateral relations and discuss areas of mutual interest. Her Excellency Jennifer Geerling Simons and His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali reaffirmed the strong bonds of friendship between the two nations, rooted in shared values, cultural ties, and geographic proximity. Both leaders expressed a commitment to deepen cooperation to promote peace, security, and prosperity for their peoples. The discussions focused on expanding trade and investment, strengthening energy security, and advancing the Quarantine River Bridge project to boost trade, tourism, and connectivity. They also committed to peaceful border management, enhancing agriculture and fisheries collaboration, and reviewing the Kanawaima ferry service to improve reliability and efficiency. The leaders reaffirmed their dedication to maintaining the region as a zone of peace, combating transnational crime, and supporting regional integration. Both presidents agreed to continue high-level dialogue and ongoing engagement between their technical teams. On September 15, President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali unveiled a new cabinet, sending a clear message to ministers: deliver results or face consequences. At a swearing-in ceremony at the State House, the president emphasized that the next 5 years must be defined by service, efficiency, and accountability. The cabinet blends seasoned leaders with first-time ministers, selected to complement one another and advance the government's agenda swiftly. First-time ministers include Kiyomo Griffith, Ministry of Labor and Manpower Planning; Sarah Brown, Ministry of Agrarian Affairs; Zulfikar Ali, Ministry of Public Service and Implementation; and Stephen Jacobs, Junior Minister in Culture, Youth and Sport. Newly appointed members of Parliament, Gita Chandan Edmund and James Bond, also pledged to help deliver the government's vision. Several familiar faces took on new roles. Onich Waldron moves from tourism to become the second female Home Affairs Minister. Priya Manik Chan transitions from education to local government and regional development, and Sonia Parag now leads education. Susan Rodriguez heads tourism, industry, and commerce, while Gail Teixeira returns as Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance. Senior ministers who retain their portfolios include Attorney General Anand Lal, Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd, Housing Minister Colin Kroll, and Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony. In their first public comments, new ministers expressed eagerness to serve.
We have a lot of work to do. I think within the next 5 years, we have to do about 25 years of work to get Guyana, to get government services to the way it should be. And President Ali has made that promise to the people of Guyana, and that's what we will roll out within the next 5 years.
I know it's a lot of work ahead. We have to work across the hinterland in terms of bringing the services to the government across all sectors, but more so in the Ministry of Agrarian Affairs. We have a big task ahead, but I am prepared, I'm committed, and I know I've been receiving a lot of support from my people, and so it's my hope to not disappoint, and I would be building bridges, working with everyone to ensure that we achieve our agenda.
First and foremost, I'll bring like an athlete's insight and perspective on things, but most importantly, the discipline to serve and the ability to drive sports to the next level in Guyana. I think it's just a continuity of what His Excellency and my senior minister is in Charles Ramson, the amazing work that they've been doing. So I'm just going to make sure that I partner with the Honorable Charles Ramson so that we can execute and take sports to the next level.
MPs Gita Chandan Edmund and James Bond reaffirmed the commitment to supporting administration's goals across Guyana.
As we enter this new chapter, it means greater accomplishment, greater commitment, greater dedication, and I'm truly happy to be able to serve. And what I bring is my ethics and my excellence. Super excited, and good things are definitely in store for all Guyanese, in fact, whether you're from the coast or the hinterland. And truly, I feel we are going to achieve a One Guyana, moving forward together for a better Guyana.
The People's Progressive Party Civic is indeed the party lead Guyana forward. You see the transitions, and even when ministers were not given back their portfolios, they were still made advisors within that ministry, which shows continuity. You know, so it's an amazing thing to see how His Excellency has been able to just shine. You know, and I want to commend the People's Progressive Party for providing that leadership to all Guyana.
President Ali stressed that governance will be judged by delivery rather than promises, making it clear that ministers who do not perform will be replaced.
Let me say that the next 5 years are the most decisive years in our history. And it must be years that are results-driven, people-centered, and efficient delivery of service.
The cabinet, he said, is built for speed, efficiency, and results, with the people of Guyana as the ultimate judge of their performance. Following the cabinet swearing in on September 15th, several new ministerial appointments have outlined their priorities as they assume office. Susan Rodriguez, now Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, has pledged to position Guyana as a premier international destination while improving the ease of doing business. Upon assuming office on September 15, she met with senior officials from the Ghana Tourism Authority, the National Bureau of Standards, the Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission, and the Small Business Bureau. Rodriguez emphasized promoting Destination Guyana by instilling patriotism and encouraging citizens to act as ambassadors, while strengthening government efficiency and private sector growth. Priya Manik-Chan, the new Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, says her ministry will focus on ensuring every household feels the impact of good governance and timely service delivery. One day after assuming office, she met with regional executive officers, education and health officers, engineers, and senior staff to address gaps in service. She highlighted stalled projects, including delayed school construction in Region 10, and warned contractors failing to meet deadlines will be replaced.
I would like to see good governance, accountable governance, effective delivery of services. We want to make sure every household feels what President Irfaan Ali wants them to feel, which is our love and our kindness through the various services. I explained how important their roles are and how much they can get in the way of that if they don't function.
Manchan stressed the need for central ministry support, stricter monitoring, and active regional offices to improve service delivery across the country. Sarah Brown, Minister of Amranian Affairs, reflected on her journey from Santa Rosa to government office, saying it shows that humble beginnings can lead to the highest roles. Brown committed to a People First ministry aims to deliver on welfare, medical, housing, and land titling issues for indigenous communities.
Land titling is number one on our agenda. Support for youth, for women, in different aspects, whether it's small projects. We had our commitments. And first and foremost, we always pride ourselves as a party and a government that delivers on our commitments. So, you know, we'll start from there and ensuring that the promises that we made, that they're fulfilled. But Ministry of Amranian Affairs and many people, you know, there's a saying that, you know, if you don't live in the house, you don't know where it leaks. And for Amranian people, this ministry is a very important ministry for us because it's where we get our funding. The funding is channeled through accountability, governance, oversight of villages. Welfare is also something we look at because people don't know, but sometimes, you know, our brothers, you know, they come to town for different reasons and they encounter difficulties. Our ministry usually reaches out, help persons who, you know, are faced with difficult circumstances.
She emphasized partnerships with youth and community members, underscoring her determination to make the ministry responsive and accessible. Brown also hopes her story will inspire young girls across the hinterland to pursue leadership roles. Together, these ministries signal a commitment to efficient governance, economic growth, and inclusive development, with a focus on delivering tangible results for Guyanese citizens. On September 16, the government unveiled the City Revival Plan, a comprehensive initiative to transform Georgetown into a sustainable garden city that preserves its heritage while promoting modern development. President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali presented the plan at his first press briefing since being re-elected, describing it as a foundation for broader national efforts in sustainable urban growth. Developed in collaboration with the King's Foundation, the plan builds on recent investments in drainage, roads, housing, and a new Demerara River Bridge. Key projects include restoring historic landmarks such as the Transport and Harbors Building and the old train station, which will become a museum and training hub. Other initiatives target modernizing the Stabroek waterfront and market, tourism-oriented canal upgrades, revitalizing green spaces, and developing the Lamaha Railway Courtyard. Flood resilience, waste management, expanded housing, and a modern transport system are central to the plan, aligned with the Low-Carbon Development Strategy 2030. President Ali emphasized that broad collaboration is crucial to reposition Georgetown as one of the finest cities in the world. Finally this week, rice millers met with senior government officials to discuss challenges facing the industry, as falling global prices continue to pressure Ghana's competitiveness. The meeting was attended by Agricultural Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, Minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, Vikash Ramkisoon, and Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh. Minister Mustafa highlighted major government investments in the rice sector over the past 5 years, which have bolstered national yields and ensured that domestic prices remain relatively stable. Millers cautioned that declining world prices are impacting the industry. Dr. Singh, joining virtually, emphasized the long-term viability of the sector, urging strategic planning and collaboration between government and millers to protect farmers' livelihoods. The government has already allocated $2 billion in fertilizer subsidies and invested $1.9 billion to further enhance the sector. In a related development, 2 major mills in Region 6 have agreed to buy farmers' paddy at $3,000 per bag, up from $2,800. The announcement came during a meeting led by President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali with Minister Mustafa and Dr. Singh in attendance. Minister Mustafa said discussions will continue to further improve prices, reaffirming the government's commitment to supporting farmers and strengthening the agricultural sector.
The government wants you all to have maximum price for the paddy, right? Maximum price. That is why we are doing all these things. We are continuing the negotiation. The president was briefed and he instructed us, both of us, to ensure that we have meeting regularly with the miller to see what we can do.
With these measures, rice farmers in Region 6 can anticipate better earnings, reflecting the government's focus on sustaining livelihoods and enhancing the national rice industry. That's all for this week on Ignite News Journey to 100 Days. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you next time.